Hello. So my story today is about a different kind of space, one that's a lot closer to home than we heard from Dan. But I think it's also one that's really important and relevant to this age of information that we live in. And it comes to be because of the brutal clashing of two truths. Truth one, this age of information. Eric Schmidt of Google estimated that every 2 days, we create as much information as we ever have from the dawn of civilization to about 2003. Every 2 days. And truth two, the human attention span at about the same time he was estimating this was thought to be around 12 seconds. The fabled goldfish attention span is about 9 seconds. And yeah, just last year, Microsoft did a study that showed us that actually now our attention span is 8 seconds. We really do have the attention span of less than a goldfish. But when you put these two truths together, for me, they address the most important issue facing space today: headspace. Not enough of it and too much to put in it. Now, when I think about headspace, for me, headspace is about allowing the most important computer we'll ever know, our brains, to think and to create better solutions for us all. And I believe, as a people, no matter what we do, big or small, we have to be able to create better solutions. And I've learned along the way, by asking some of those annoying questions, that really it comes down to me, it matters to me on a professional level. I'm in the business of advertising. So I actually spend a lot of my time working with clients and their brands, helping them understand how to occupy some of this headspace in a meaningful manner. And as a small business owner of a fast-growing creative company here in Rochester, the very success of our business depends on the creativity of our people. And lastly, and honestly sometimes it is too much lastly, on a personal level, as a father of 2 amazing young men, learning how can I help and support them in the wonders of this age of information and the role of their headspace. So I thought I'd share a number of learnings I've learned along the way, and they really settle into 3 buckets: the physical, the psychological, and the metaphysical. So let's start with the easy one, the physical. I'm sure you're all familiar in the workspace over the last few years that we've, in the rush for creativity, we've torn down pods, opened up the workspace for a more creative environment. And it works, to a point. The Workplace Performance Index is actually down 6%. And we discovered this just in the last year, as here in Nota we built our own space out, and in our enthusiasm for creativity, we rushed and created the wonderful space for sharing and learning together, and we hit a key issue: too much time together. We've learned we need to think more about the workspace as caves and campfires. Campfires, the open space where we can all come together and share and learn together. But also caves, room for individuals to be able to focus on their headspace and what matters most to them. And I think it's also true when we think about it for our own workspaces. How can we think about creating campfires and caves to foster creativity? And at home. Sure, we all know that teenagers love their caves, right? But we thought about the role of campfire, and for us it was our dinner time, coming together as a family. And in fact, sharing meals together has proven to be a fantastic platform for children to be able to learn to flourish and become the great people that they can be. So another lesson for us in the workspace: bringing the outside in. Now, I'm sure you've seen the many studies that show that actually bringing greenery into the workspace doesn't just improve the oxygen, it also helps the harmony and the blend of being together. But we flipped it. We encourage our people to actually step outside, because when you walk and you wander, so does your mind, free of some of those distractions that we have all together at the same time. The Japanese even have a phrase for it. It's called forest bathing. It's a great expression, forest bathing. So we thought about that and really started thinking about the thought process led me to the second area. Now, as Daniel Kahneman, the behavioral economist, has said, and I love this, thinking is to humans as swimming is to cats. We can do it. We'd just much rather not. And it's true, right? It's easy to avoid the thinking process because we can go the easy, fast way of being always on, always connected to this wonderful world of information through things like this, our smartphone. But we're not really on. We're actually in a constant state of inattention, of waiting for that next interruption. The snap, the ping, the email, the tweet. It's actually even got an acronym, so it must be true. FOMO, fear of missing out. One of my sons recently had to do a college essay on 8 hours of self-deprivation from the digital space. For him, it was less about fear and more about anger. And I can assure you, neither are very good. But what if we flipped it? What if we actually deliberately started to think about a joy of missing out? I recently read of an author that has unplugged days. A whole day constantly free from any interruption, digital or otherwise. Now I'm sure your diaries, your calendars are just like mine. Next week looks crazy, right? Maybe even the week after. But what about if 1 month's time? What if we all made a date in 1 month and we will be unplugged for the whole day? And stick to it. Unplugged. Reminds me of those MTV sets that we all loved, right? And there was a wonder in that, because they didn't just strip away the digital and the noise, but they actually focused on the very soul and we savored the music. That's a wonderful thought for us. So how can we do that? By being deliberate. And that's true, as that cat metaphor showed us. Thinking is hard. It's hard, so it's easy to avoid it by pretending we're always busy. But thinking always leads to deliberation, to being deliberate. And that's also why it's hard. Because we make a constant commitment to actually something we believe. And that's something that we seek to be deliberate. To find ways to actually decide what matters to us using our headspace. And to come up with that answer. So what if we all did that? It leads me on to the third area. The question of time and space. Now, I'm pretty sure there still are just 24 hours in the day. So we can't make more time. But we can make more of it. Recently, I had a family emergency. I had to fly back to England at a couple of hours' notice. And my colleague Joe, 2 months ago, if you had said to him, Joe, Thursday morning, 6 hours waiting in the basement full of water, I'm pretty sure that wasn't on his calendar. But we both made time. We actually proved that time's elastic for the things that matter to us at that moment. So what if we took that thought and made it more deliberate for the things in our headspace that really matters to us, the important things? We're exploring in some ways in my workspace. Tuesday mornings, Thursday mornings, headspace mornings, no meetings. And we actually encourage our people to spend the time on focusing on what matters most to them, no matter what it is, working alone or in pairs. And we're exploring with 1-hour meetings. They're now 55-minute meetings. Now, I can't tell you whether we're being more productive in those 55 minutes, but I can tell you that actually it reduces some of the agita and the angst of the rushing, playing catch-up always when our meetings are full. And sometimes, I think the exploring matters as much as the doing, because it's that same commitment to the role of headspace and why it matters to us. When I think about all these things, it comes back to that last point. For me, headspace is the most important space that we can all share in. Using our creativity to find new and better solutions, big or small, it doesn't matter. But by being deliberate. And that's certainly true for me in my work environment. It's absolutely true for me in my personal world. And hopefully, it's true for you. Because I think we're moving from an important age from where we are today. From this age of information, we need to actually celebrate the age of insight, where we focus on less, not more. because that's what's going to make us more perceptive, to really focus on what really matters. And so, I encourage you all, continue to ask questions. Think about what is your headspace and what matters most to you, and be deliberate about finding ways to celebrate it. Thank you.